Hello friends, today I'm going to be talking about how to make money renting out single-family homes. Renting out single-family homes is a tried and true real estate investment strategy, but are some better than others? Well, by the end of this video, I'm going to equip you with effective methods to turn single-family homes into profitable rental centers. Have you ever wondered why some landlords make a really good profit while others struggle? What are their secrets when it comes to renting out single-family homes? And which strategy is right for you? Well, stay tuned as we dive into this topic about renting out single-family homes by first laying a groundwork of the current economic situation and how it applies for this market. And I'll also talk about why single-family homes are really the foundation for real estate investing. And finally, I'm going to cover some more creative real estate strategies when it comes to renting out single-family homes. If you're ready, let's go. So single-family homes have always been the foundation of investing in real estate. If you think about it and you think what came first as a real estate investment, most likely it was the home. That is the biggest and greatest investment that any one person will ever make in their entire life, for most people. And the cool thing about it is it's always innovating. There's different strategies that are always coming out when it comes to single-family homes. However, it doesn't mean that that is always the case. I'm sure there's been times throughout history where renting out single-family homes wasn't a good strategy. I can only imagine when the late 70s, early 80s, when interest rates were pushing maybe 17, 18%, having that type of investment and renting it out might have been extremely challenging to make those numbers work. However, when it comes to real estate investment strategies, single-family homes have been the most consistent over time. So if we jump into the current economy and we talk about single-family homes, there's an interesting statistic that I just read the other day, and it was in regards to vacancy rates concerning single-family homes. It said that the average vacancy rate of single-family homes has floated mostly between 92 and 94%. If you think about that, that's a pretty powerful strategy to be able to have a single family home as an investment and have that thing occupied 92 to 94% of the time is a pretty good occupancy rate for any type of investment. And also, some of those tenants who rent single family homes end up being some of the best tenants out there. But what else does our current economic situation tell us about this strategy? One thing we do know is that people will always have the goal of home ownership. Families will always need a place to live. And if you ask somebody, would they rather live in an apartment or a home, most times people want a home. Now, finances could impede that. For a lot of people right now, buying a home with interest rates as high as they are and home prices as high as they are, they would much rather be renting now than trying to buy a home or to have a home with such a high interest rate, making the payment maybe even higher than it would if they were to rent. And the last piece of economic data out there is right now in the current economy in which we are experiencing, home prices, the ability to own a home or attain a home has probably never been more difficult than it is right now. So what does this mean for you as a real estate investor? It definitely means that there are opportunities out there if you understand how to creatively acquire single-family homes to be rented out and understanding the underlying strategies that will help you do so. Now, this is the part where it gets really fun. Let's talk about some of those strategies. So right now, I know the current model of buying a home and turning around and renting it out over the long term is more challenging. To make those numbers work is extremely difficult. But here's a strategy that I'm actually doing right now. And I've actually shifted my real estate investing strategy in the last 3 months because for the last probably 3 to 4 years, I've really been in the market of short-term rentals. But as interest rates have continued to go up, it makes it more difficult for those numbers to pencil. However, I'm still looking for short-term rentals. I'm just a little bit more cautious, but this strategy right now, renting out single-family homes, have been awesome. And it's a strategy called slow flips. So a slow flip is this. Currently, I am looking to acquire homes right now in the Midwest, but starting to look in other areas, anywhere between $30,000 to $80,000 for the whole home. And I'm looking for homes that don't need any or very little maintenance to be able to get a renter inside that home. Now, I'm buying that home with cash. That way I can get a better deal on the home. And a lot of times I am placing offers that are well below what they're asking. So I might only get 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20 that will accept my offer after multiple negotiations, but that's okay because I'm looking for that one that's listed at $75,000 that I get for $50,000 to $55,000, well below what they're asking. Now, the reason they're willing to accept that little money because I'm paying cash for it and I'm closing quickly. And I'm getting that money from a private money lender who's willing to loan that money to me at a higher interest rate, let's say 9, 10, 11, 12%, right? Depending on the lender. I've got a good one now. There's a good friend of mine that I'm getting for 10%. So I buy that home outright. Now what I'm going to do is turn around and try and find a buyer for that home that's willing to pay me $75,000, $80,000, $85,000 for that home. And the reason they're willing to do that is because I am becoming the bank. I am seller financing it for them 100%. And I might not even require them to put a down payment payment, or if so, it's very little. So their entry into home ownership is much simpler than it would be if they went through a traditional bank. Now, I am going to charge a little bit higher interest rate than what they could get in the market right now, but let's say interest rates are around 7%, I might charge 8.5% on the interest rate, and I'm amortizing that over a 30-year period of time. But get this, even though that's the case, the payment that they're making to me a lot of times is going to be equal to or a little bit less than what they're paying in rent. So for them as an individual, rather than paying money for rent, they're now paying money to acquire a home that will then be an investment for them. Look at these numbers. I'm amortizing over 30 years for them as I become the bank, and with my private money lender, I'm amortizing that over a 5, 6 year, 7 year period of time, hopefully 5 years, but depending on how the payments equal out to each other, it might be a little bit longer or a little bit less time. My goal is to have the money coming from the individual that I'm financing it for to completely cover the payment to my private money lender. Now think of it this way, I'm buying the home as if I was buying a car, paying that car off in 5 or 6, 7 years, but I'm selling the home, as a 30-year mortgage. Now if I can do that, I'm not making a ton of money as far as every single month, but when that 5th year is over, or that 6 years over, every month after that, I'm making the full rental payment every single month. And let's just say that payment is $900 a month, and I was able to acquire 40 of these homes over a period of time. 900 times 40, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, that's going to be $36,000 a month coming in. So this strategy is a longer term play, but one that I'm currently doing creatively, utilizing single family homes, not necessarily renting them out, but I'm selling them and receiving that payment as if I were the bank, as if I were renting it out. Now, one other important element when it comes to slow flips is this. Instead of utilizing a traditional purchase and sales agreement, I'm actually utilizing what's called a land contract. Now, this allows the person to take ownership of the home where they're responsible for maintenance, taxes, insurance, mortgage payment, everything. But I am acting as if I were the landlord. If they didn't make payments, I could evict them rather than foreclosing on them. And people will say, well, if it's their home, how could you do that? If you ask me if I own my home, I say yes until I stop making payments, 3, 4, 5 months down the road. Guess what's going to happen? The bank's going to come and say to me, hey, we need your home back. It's a similar type of thing, but a land contract is an important element of the strategy called slow flips. And one other strategy associated with this, closely linked to this, is what I call cash flow flipping. So it's the exact same strategy as a slow flip, but rather than doing the mortgage over a period of time, I am doing what's called a lease option. So same thing, purchasing the home at a very low price, selling at a longer price, but this is somebody who says, I want to buy the home, I just can't this year or maybe next year. I've got to have a few more years on the books to be able to get a mortgage done. So I'll do a lease option with them. So the money I get from my hard money lender, I'm going to turn that into an interest-only payment. The private money lender is in first position on the home. He knows I got it well below market value, so he's willing to loan that money to him, and every month I'm making an interest-only payment. So if it's $50,000, even if that's at 12%, that's $500 a month that I'm paying him. Now I'm leasing this home out at say $950 a month. I'm making $450 a month. And because it's a lease option, I'm getting a percentage of the money up front for that option for that buyer to purchase the home from me at a certain price at a certain date in the future. So running through that scenario, let's say I got the home for $50,000, I'm selling it for $80,000, and because this person can't buy it for me right now, they're willing to pay $80,000 2 years from now. Let's say I get even say a $2,000 option. I hang on to that money. If they don't buy the house, I keep that money as a lease option. I have $500 a month going out the door to my private money lender, but I've got $950 a month coming in from the person who wants to buy the home at that price 2 years from now. And I'm going to credit $100 a month every single month towards the down payment eventually on them executing on the purchase of this home. So $100 times 24 months is $2,400, plus they gave me $2,000 as that option. If they execute on it, I'm giving them $4,400 towards their down payment, and so they're buying it for $80,000. I'm going to receive eventually $76,000 when they execute on that payment, and at that point I pay the $50,000 back to my private money lender. They've made 12% on that money every year for the last 2 years, and I receive $76,000, so I pocket $24,000. So very similar to a slow flip, but I call it cash flow flipping because I'm making cash every single month, and then I make a chunk of cash when that lease option is executed. So these are a couple strategies I'm utilizing right now. They're a lot of fun that I'm finding work very well in this economy. but I'd love to hear what you've done, what you've seen. Have you heard of slow flips? Have you ever heard the term cash flow flipping? Please comment below. Let's engage in a dialogue. And as always, just for stopping by and watching this video, I've got a free gift for you. It's aaron'sfreetraining.com. It is a short-term rental calculator that you put in the purchase price, the income, the expenses, and it will actually spit out to you whether it's a good deal or not. And it's 100% free, no questions asked. Just click on that link, aaron'sfreetraining.com. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.